No, you're fine, sir. No, thank you. No.
I wouldn't worry.
Let's go to West now.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to call the November 12th, 2024 Dayton Town Council meeting to order at 6 o'clock. I'd like to remind everybody, we have sign-up sheets over the front door if you'd like to speak during the public comment section of tonight's meeting. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes. Could we have roll call, please? Ms. Wade.
Ms. Pennell? Present. Mr. Walls? Ms. Matthias? Present. Ms. Estes? Mayor Jackson?
Present.
Mr. Dijak?
Present.
Thank you, Ms. Wade. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to meet this evening to go over the town business. We pray that the new elections will bring our country together, both nationally and on a local level, that people can work together. We ask that you look out for our first responders and men and women of the military who protect us across this nation and abroad. We pray in your name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, I would like to, we have three of our most newly elected people out there. We have Mr. Sager, Mr. Hensley, and Sam Lee in the audience with us this evening. Congratulations on your election, gentlemen. We're going to start this evening off with a proclamation declaring the month of November as Veterans and Military Families Month. Whereas Virginia is home to approximately 676,000 veterans and their families, with several of those residing in Dayton and Rockingham County. And whereas more than 180,000 active duty service members, reservists, and members of the Virginia National Guard, along with more than 74,000 military spouses, are stationed in Virginia. And whereas the Commonwealth of Virginia has more than 79,000 military children, and whereas Dayton is home to local post number 27 of the American Legion. And whereas we recognize and honor our veterans and the military families who serve alongside the members of armed forces as they protect our country from harm. And whereas we respect and acknowledge the daily sacrifices of veterans and military families and the extraordinary contribution they make to the nation, to the town, and their communities. And now therefore be it proclaimed by the Dayton Town Council and on behalf of the residents that November is National Veterans and Military Families Month in Dayton, and that the council encourages all to show their support for veterans and military families throughout the month. Thank you for your service. And once again, we have Megan visiting us this evening. She has concluded her hard work. She's with Brown Edwards and Company. She's going to give us a presentation of their most recent audit that was performed.
On the bottom.
Bottom, Megan. We're tricking you.
Trick microphone. I'm Megan Argenbright. Nice to see you guys. I'm a partner at Brown Edwards. I've been working with the town for quite some time. My team consists of Alexis Thompson. She does actually most of the hard work. And I get to come. I review everything, but I get to come and do your presentation. So I guess first I'd like to thank Krista for all her hard work. Certainly, we come in, a few days a year and we ask thousands of questions. And so, and then we leave and we continue to ask questions. And so that's kind of how that goes. But we are done. And so presenting the June 30th, 2024 financial report. Clean opinion, that's what you want to know, right? So unmodified clean opinion means the financial statements are materially correct. There's no new accounting standards, which in my world is kind of nuts. It's been an amazing season for me because we didn't have to implement anything new. That does mean that your financial statements are much more comparable year to year, right? No new changes, no new note disclosures, those sorts of things. So the way the financials are set up, you have your government-wide items, your exhibits, which have your financial statements, your numbers, and then behind that are your note disclosures. They provide more information about those numbers. The bulk of that is going to be pension related because that standard was a whopper and it's not going away. So a good chunk of those note disclosures are related to pension and OPEB. Same with your required supplementary information, which comes after that. At the back of your report is the compliance section. And though you guys do not have to have a single audit, which is a federal compliance audit this year, you do still have to abide by Yellow Book standards. And so that's why that is back there. We do have to report material weaknesses. And so I'm going to go over these couple of items. They're also in the what we call the management letter, the internal control letter. So they're in both places. It's just the way it has to be done. But the first one is segregation of duties. This is not new. It's also not a surprise. You guys have a small staff. And so that means that individuals are responsible for many different things. And so it tends to be difficult to implement segregation of duties in an ideal internal control environment. And so that comment has been here for a while. The bottom line is that Krista has to be able to have access to do things, right? Or else nothing would get done. And so it's just a risk with the small staff size. There are mitigating controls in place. There are reviews. You guys get financial information to look at. So there are mitigating controls, but the risk is still there. The other one is audit adjustments. This is a little bit of a combination of several different things, but one I will say, Krista's only been in her role as treasurer. This is her second audit, but her first full year. So she kind of got thrown into the last audit a little bit. Um,
A little bit.
Right. So this was our first full year and there were some audit adjustments. Those are attached to the required communication with you guys. We just went ahead and attached the detail of those. Some of the audit adjustments are things that we knew we were going to help with. Pension and OPEB entries, we knew we were going to help with those. And I enjoy that actually. So I have zero problems with that. It's also a one-time a year thing. It's not a recurring entry. You have to wait for the VRS actuary report to come out. And so some of them are going to be adjustments each year, and that's fine. Some of them are because getting the processes right to do things right the first time, it's a little bit difficult coming in and following behind when there were like journal entries made and then corrections, right? So Krista's ready to do them. Like we've spent a lot of time let's figure out the right way to do it the first time. And so I feel that there's been a lot of progress made, but we have to report this because based on our dollar amounts, some of the entries were big enough that they had to be included. But the detail is there. And like I said, we saw improvements from last year to this year, and I anticipate we'll continue to see improvements going forward. I will say there was another management letter comment on compensated absences. And that was about adopting the policy to clarify the policy, we'll say. But you guys are voting on that tonight. So their recommendations are already moving forward and getting approved. So the last item is the letter to those charged with governance, which is you guys. And this is a standard letter. It's all the things we are required to communicate with you. And that means they are important, but you can get tired of hearing it because you're going to hear the same thing every single year. Your financial statements have estimates. Some of them are significant. Also attached to that letter is management's representation letter, which is 6 pages-ish of, like I said, we ask 1,000 questions. And essentially the gist of that representation letter is like everything we asked, we were given information. Even if we didn't ask the question, we were provided information we may need and that may impact the audit. So that letter is also attached there along with the journal entries. I've covered everything. I will also add, even though there were no new standards this year, there is a minor standard next year on compensated absences, oddly enough. But I don't envision that being a significant impact on the town. I don't envision it being a significant impact on many clients, honestly. It is more of a clarification standard, so should be easy breezy next year as well. Any questions?
Yes, I appreciate the insight there and for continuing to work with us, and thank you, Ms. Hall and Ms. Moore for taking care of business. And just to repeat, clean, unmodified. Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. So that's
That's
job
the
well done
important
there.
part, yeah.
Those are the key words.
Absolutely. I just want to make it very clear. So yes, in other words, we're in good shape there. That's fantastic, and I think obviously we'll just digest some of those items maybe at a future finance committee meeting. Attend to a couple of those.
The January meeting would be a good one.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's what I was thinking for the due date, folks. Yes, but thank you.
Thank you, Megan, very much. We appreciate it. Always good to see you. I need a motion to approve the minutes for the work session and regular town council meetings and public hearing of October 15th. Thank you, Bob. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Melanie. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Our first action item this evening is consideration of the personnel policy revision that she just spoke of. The minor revisions of the 2 personnel policies were recommended by the auditors to ensure that a policy and practice align. Ms. Hall, would you like to give us a staff report on that? I was just gonna say, she just did it. And again, these are the reasons that we go through audits. I need a motion to adopt the compensatory leave policy as revised and the PTO accrual policy as revised.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Mathias. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Pennell. Do we have any discussion on this? Roll call, please, Ms. Wade.
Mr. Dijak,
Aye.
Mr. Walls,
Aye.
Ms. Estes, Ms. Pennell. Aye. Mayor Jackson,
Aye.
Ms. Matthias. Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you very much. Excuse me. Next up is consideration of the National League of Cities Service Line Warranty Program. Mr. Bourne, would you like to speak on this?
Sure, why not? This is just following up on the policy that was revised to kind of agree to practice. This is just another instrument or tool to help the resident that's experiencing their service line issues with water or sewer. It is totally voluntary. We have no, the city has no link or anything. This is totally provided by the National League of Cities. There's a lot of information in your packet, but the bottom line is this assists in those repairs that kind of go out into the public realm from, say, the meter, your water meter to where it connects, or your sewer line to where it connects to the main. Basically, it's an insurance policy that would cover work. The rates are monthly, very reasonable. You also have an option for in-home plumbing. You don't have to take all. You could take one or all three or two, whatever you decide. There are unlimited calls per year, unlimited coverage. It maxes out at $8,500, and I did verify with NLC and this service line warranty program that $8,500. Let's say your repair, it breaks, your sewer line breaks, and the repairs from the house all the way out to the main. And it's fairly deep, so the cost is a little more, $10,000. Well, this would offset that owner's responsibility to the tune of $8,500, where they're only responsible for the remaining $1,500. And like they say, there's unlimited calls and it's $8,500 per call. And sometimes if you're in an older section, as we know, that could be multiple issues going on there, but as long as it's in that portion of the service line that's under the resident's responsibility. With water, it's from the meter to the main. Sewer, it's from the house, whatever, to the main. So this would help with those expenses. That's all there is to it. To the meter to, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, I always mix those up. That's why you're here.
And one thing that you didn't mention that I do want to mention is there is no deductible on this. You pay your monthly fee and then it's that $8,500. So it's not like you've got, if you have to use this, that you've got a $1,500 deductible. There is no deductible or service fee. Your monthly fee, and then they cover up to the $8,500. Which most things like this is we're all aware with every other insurance policy we have, there's a deductible as well, but there is not a deductible on this.
And I personally have water, sewer, and gas at the house I own in North Carolina, the same program.
I need a motion to approve and authorize the town manager to enter into the royalty marketing agreement with Utility Service Partners Incorporated, a home service company for an initial term of 1 year. Thank you, Ms. Estes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Dijak? Any discussion?
Great program.
Roll call, please. Ms. White?
Ms. Estes.
Yep.
Joy.
Mr. Dijak.
Aye.
Mr. Walls.
Aye.
Mayor Jackson,
Aye.
Ms. Matthias. Aye. Ms. Pennell. Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you very much. And thank you for researching that, Mr. Bourne.
Thank you.
We have one person signed up, Ms. Crank.
Good evening, or everyone, good?
She turned it off.
Good evening, everybody. Deb Frank, 363 College Street, Dayton. I'm here this evening because I would like to recognize the efforts and work of the town council members who will be leaving us in 2025. Thank you. Thank you. And that's really to right something. Mayor, thank y'all for everything y'all done in your service to the community. Also want to congratulate the newly elected town council members on that. Additionally, there's concerns mentioned among the community on fiscal responsibility and stewardship decisions on decisions made behind closed doors. So this is for you all in the back row. I'd like to propose to each of you, as you make decisions for the rest of 2024 and into 2025, that you think about this decision as if it was your own money coming out of your own pocket. Think about that wholeheartedly before you agree to give it away. It is our money. Whether it be a state grant or town funds, we as citizens depend on each of you to make that decision on our behalf because you're spending our money to be paying taxes and utilities. When us currents think about our town and what is important, water and safety are the top of mind. We all need clean, available water to survive, and due to the unfortunate state of society, there's a need for safety, which is provided by our police officers. We must ensure during the budget process that each are funded appropriately. It may be a little more, just in case. Hard decisions may need to be made not to support individual interests of staff or self-serving interests of a minority in the town. For example, there are multiple signs and new signs in place. Not one sign mentions shopping on College and Main. We say we support all our merchants, yet not one sign with the word shopping, directing consumers. How did this happen? Based on how many folks were interested in town council seats, it appears others are waking up and yearning to be more involved in our town. And there's excitement to see how we can all work together in 2025. And I'll leave you with, Lulu and I are working to get the giving trees up, which are the trees with the tags for our children in our community that we get from the elementary and middle school guidance counselors. They should all be set up at Pit Stop, Heritage Real Estate, Thomas House, and Pratt Buildings. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Crank. We'll move on to staff reports, starting with Mr. Bourne.
All right. Well, I have a few other items. You have the report in your packet. As I mentioned earlier, but for members of the audience and people who may not have been here, the leaf truck was down for about half a day, I think, last week for repairs to the vacuum system. It is on its last leg and does need to be replaced. Jennifer has worked on ordering that part. So as soon as we get that in, we'll get that taken care of. They are hobbling along with leaves. They made a repair and it worked, so we were able to continue rather than suspend. And all of staff here will, I don't know all, but it's voluntary, but we will be conducting some CPR training here at Town Hall. We have upcoming town events, the November 30th Small Business Saturday, December 6th Christmas Parade. 11th of December is the resident Christmas party. The 12th of December is the holiday decorating contest judging. And Christine and I are working on the council-elect, the newly elected officials for an orientation in December. We are trying to internally get dates. We will put those out to everyone as soon as we can and get that on the calendar. We'll probably have that orientation here. It would be helpful if we could do it at all in one with everyone here. And then just to note, in January, we spoke of this last year, a strategic planning session for the council in January. We're looking about mid-January or so. That's still tentative. I have to work it out internally because I'd like staff to participate and also with the facilitator. But that will be kind of off-site on a neutral location here in town. That's all I've got.
Thanks, sir. And we are graced with the presence of Lieutenant Hooker this evening.
Yes. Greetings.
He might actually be.
Yeah.
Good news.
That's the least amount of words that have ever come out of your mouth. Mr. Bowman,
Nothing to report.
thanks, sir.
No report on the Grinch. Did the Grinch disappear?
Yeah, wait, what? Yeah, we've got holiday
Gary, you
season.
gotta get on that guy that was playing the Grinch, man.
I don't know anything about it, Grinch.
I don't know.
I think we need a new.
Yes.
Krista, you're kind of small. I think you can pull it off.
Was that?
I'd do it if I could fit in the costume. I think I'm a little too fat. I'm a little too fat.
Lieutenant, was that an honorable discharge from the Grinch there to the force or?
Yes,
It was
Okay.
a retirement.
ran off the
Shame.
Timberville.
You should get paid for that.
Mr. Dijak for Economic Community Development and Finance.
There you go. Yes, sir. Well, there you go. We'll go with the good news Dayton segment here. Fantastic job again on, we put out a lot of events and a lot of great things that come out of the town. And, again, the bonfire and trick or treat was a phenomenal success. So I just have to, that was a lot of fun. And, isn't it great to see a bunch of businesses scurrying around to replenish their candy stock in, 15, 20 minutes into that event? That was exciting. So thank you, staff, for that and making it a bigger and better event than even the last couple of years, which I was excited about. So and then that just sets the stage here. We just upped the ante for all the Christmas activities that Mr. Bourne already mentioned. So thank you for that. I'll echo Ms. Crank's sentiments too. Congratulations on the those that elected the council. Appreciate Mr. Sager and Mr. Lee and Mr. Hensley are joining us here. And congratulations, Ms. Estes, on re-election. And thank you. I know Mr. Hunter Carter, thank you for running. We had a number of great candidates out there that I know will do well and contribute positively as we move forward. Because I think that's it. We're looking forward to a great new year coming up and moving forward as Team Dayton and continuing all the progress that we've made here. So excited about that. Thank you all for your participation here. So so there you go. That's I think we're in good shape here. The last thing I'd be remiss if I didn't also note events that are not town related, but tangential, but Fort Harrison Wreaths Across America. We just passed our proclamation for recognizing military veterans and families month. I would encourage anyone who has not had the pleasure of attending the Wreaths Across America it starts at Pence Middle and then moves over to the cemetery. It is a very humbling and fitting honor. So please plan on attending that Saturday, December 14th. Exactly. We've got, and then I'll put my other hat on, Rocktown History. We've got a event here coming up on Thursday, this Thursday, to Pairings with the Purpose down at Hotel Madison. That's a great, exciting opportunity to pair chocolate, history, and wine. So there you go. But if you're not inclined for that, there is the following Thursday on November 21st. This is, I bring this up as of interest to local Dayton residents. There's a third Thursday talk right down either on Zoom or down at the lecture hall at the museum. It starts at 7 p.m. on the 21st. Mr. William Zirk is a local author and is writing about his times in Dayton and reminiscing about his family's experience growing up here and working in the press and talking about World War II and all that good stuff. So I would encourage anyone who's interested to, it's free to attend. So I'd encourage anyone who's interested, in just putting a little unique, bend on history to come on down to Rocktown history on the 1st and 17th. That's all I did.
Thank you, Mr. Dijak. Mr. Walls, Parks, Beautification and Recreation. See me. Thanks, sir. Ms. Matthias for Personnel.
We did not meet, but the survey is complete and we'll be having a closed session later on that.
Thank you very much. We have no unfinished business this evening. Do we have any new business to discuss tonight?
I want to get from you, since you're here, to like kind of like a report on the situation at Buddy Everly's. I kind of got chewed out about a leak in front of his house that's been going on for over a year. So I didn't know if you've probably already checked into it. He was told it would get fixed or something, but I just want like kind of like a report on it sometime. Don't have to be today, just whatever. I don't know if you've probably already dealt with it. You know?
Have an answer.
Oh, I don't know. It's over here
I'll write down.
at 257 in May.
Just an update on that. Adams dug it up before. We can't find the source of the leak. We think it probably is the service line going to the blacksmith shop from the old line across the intersection. That's speculation. That being said, we've tried multiple locating tools, can't find the source of the leak. That's just where it's showing itself. Before the blacksmith shop becomes something else. We're gonna do our best to kind of excavate all that and find it. Unfortunately, we're just gonna have to schedule something where we get the officers involved and get our VDOT permits, and we're gonna have to close down that entire intersection and do it at night where traffic is minimal, because we're probably gonna have to just. That's why we just haven't done anything. We've just kept filling it in for now. We've tried locating. I think it's where it's tapped in on the other side of the street, and it's high traffic area. Even listening to it, you hear all the cars. So it is on our radar, and we're hoping to do it kind of in conjunction. I think that building wants to do some super. So we're going to try to hopefully do something in conjunction. I've actually mentioned it. Or moving on that, we'll kind of do everything together if we can. Any other?
You're good. Thank you. Appreciate it. At this time, we need to go into closed session. I'll entertain a motion to convene into closed session as by Virginia Code 2.2-3711A1 to discuss the performance and employment of specific local government personnel. The subject matter of the closed session is to discuss the 1-year evaluation and performance of the town manager. Thank you, Mr. Dijak. Do I have a second? All right, all in favor? Actually, Ms. Wade, and we're actually gonna do that in this room, so we're gonna have to ask everybody to depart.
All right.
Yeah, like I did last year. It's easy.
Ms. Wade, can we have a roll call?
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
No. Emily, we need to just get a roll call real quick before we get. Sorry, I just. Oh.
Don't we need a roll call to go into closed session? Or no, just to exit.
Oh.
We don't need to go out.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Thank you.
Well, we didn't take a vote. That's the thing. We just.
Oh, yeah.
Second. We just had a second.
Oh,
No, we have a second.
A
we
second.
do. So all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. We're in closed session. See you, man.
Thanks, sir. Hey, thanks for coming out.
I will make sure, thanks.
All right. Maybe you have a good evening there, sir.